How could we start a list about all the teams at every rating without including the very worst team at the game? As a university team, every player you see on FIFA is actually a university student at University College in Dublin. It's no surprise that a random set of players in their early 20s is so low rated, but it does give you an interesting challenge. As the Irish university system is mostly based around 3-year degrees, why not see how far you can progress while only being able to keep a player for 3 seasons? If you put an age cap of 22 here too, then things can be even tougher. While I admit that University College Dublin isn't the most interesting save, there really is a lack of teams at this rating, so it's no doubt that they're the best of a very bad bunch of teams to use on career mode. There's surprisingly a small number of 1-star teams on FIFA too, but I think the Indian League is the perfect place to play as one. Goa looks to be the most interesting team, mainly thanks to their manager and the history of the city. The team is managed by Carlos Peña, a former La Liga player from Spain who's only 39 years old. If you wanted to start a journeyman career as a European manager who's playing outside of Europe, this could be the perfect start for you. The team is located in a former Portuguese colony and has a good number of Spanish and Portuguese players in the squad, giving you the option to focus on signing players from these countries and to try and build a strong team. Wellington are one of a small selection of teams in career mode that play in a different country. Swansea and Cardiff are famous examples in the UK, Andorra is probably the most next popular in the whole game, but I think New Zealand's Wellington is probably the most fun of the lot. As the only Kiwi team in the game, they do have the potential to grow into a strong team. Even more interestingly, New Zealand is part of the Oceania Football Confederation, while Australia actually plays in Asia. This means on FIFA, you can win a continental competition with a team that's not even from that continent, something that can only be done on FIFA with Wellington Phoenix. It'll probably take you 2 seasons to get that far into the competition, but after you win in Asia, you can easily move to a different continent and maybe attempt the Pentagon Challenge with already 2 continents ticked off. As I posted about in my video of the hardest FIFA 23 saves, Istanbulspor starts in an awful position. Based in Istanbul, Istanbulspor are by far the worst team in the Turkish league. With a squad full of low 60 rated players, you'll need to improve in basically every area if you want to progress up the league. So what actually makes this save so tough? Well, it's the fact that you're so much worse than every other team in the league, your squad has a lack of potential, and you also start with a tiny budget, meaning you'll have to decide if you're focusing on the academy, you're focusing on signing first team players, or you're focusing on signing players with potential who can actually improve with your team. Why not try and rebuild your team and have a full Turkish squad? Buy some of the many players who were born in Istanbul and make the people's team the best team in the capital city. Based in northern Italy, very close to Austria, with great connections to the Austrian state of Tyrol and a minor German-speaking population, Südtirol offer a rare chance to create an Italian-based team with a major Austrian influence. They were last year's Serie C champions, so they were promoted to the second division in Italy, Serie B, for FIFA 23. The team wear red and white, with the general club identity being based on the Austrian colours. Your goal is to firstly get promoted, then win the Italian league, and then progress in Europe, mainly using Italian, German and Austrian players. This gives you a clear pathway not only for your signings, but also for where your youth scouts can go, while having 3 options where you can also do a club and country save, because all 3 of these nations have a manageable national team on FIFA 23. Südtirol was actually the first save I uploaded on FIFA 23 on this channel, so check out the card at the top of the video right now if you're interested in seeing how I got on. LA Galaxy is one of the most successful and probably most recognisable teams in the MLS, but despite their past success, they have actually struggled in recent years and do need to rebuild their squad. The team has a strong tradition of signing big-name North American talents like Landon Donovan, Gyasi Zardes, and players like that, so it is important to invest and continue this trend of American talent. But with the solid foundation of young players and Americans, LA Galaxy can finally compete for playoff spots again and maybe even challenge for the MLS Cup. The focus should be on trying to develop a clear style of play that suits the team's strengths and weaknesses, while also trying to attract some huge name European players that can come in and also add to how the squad's playing. The youth academy at AS Saint Etienne has produced some very notable players over the years: Laurent Blanc, Didier Deschamps, Michel Platini. They're all former players who came through the academy at Saint Etienne. More recently, William Saliba, Wesley Fofana, Kurt Zouma, Bafatimbi Gomez and Blaise Matuidi all wore this famous green kit at some point at youth level. Despite having this incredible record of bringing through youth players though, Saint Etienne are currently in the bottom half of the second division. You start out on FIFA 23 in a really good position. You have the best squad in the league, you have a squad full of high potential players with a decent budget, and you can spend all of this on youth scouts. For the first season, while you're trying to win promotion, you should also give as much time to your young players as possible. Try and bring through as many physically strong French and African players to give you a young squad that can compete in the first division once you finally get promoted back to where you belong. This is the first year in ages where I've not had to make a video on why Forest are the best team to use for a road to glory. Instead, in today's video, I'm recommending you use them for a Premier League rebuild instead. With a big budget, try and build a team around some of their local born players. Ryan Yates, Brennan Johnson and Joe Worrell are all fan favourites. With the goalkeeping situation being one of the best in the league, with Keylor Navas and Dean Henderson both between the net, money needs to be spent to improve both the defence and the midfield, but the attack should probably be okay for at least one season. As Forest are now a Premier League side, there is the chance to win a third Champions League with the tricky trees, and it shouldn't actually be too difficult. It's a long-term goal that I think is ambitious enough to be fun, but also straightforward enough to not be boring if you want to play for multiple seasons. Somehow Arsenal are only 4.5 stars on FIFA. I'm sure I don't have to go too far in depth about the challenge you'll be facing here. You'll need to try and outrun both City and Liverpool while spending as much time developing your insanely talented squad as players as possible. Additions here and there are probably needed, most obviously at central midfield, but outside of spending £100 million on Bellingham, it's going to be hard to find someone who can keep up with the rest of your squad. I'm not too convinced by Sambi Lokanga on FIFA or in real life, so take a look at some of the midfielders Arsenal have been linked with in real life. Ruben Neves and Yuri Tielemans have both been linked many times, but a younger option could be Ibrahim Sangare at PSV. He'll need a slight bit of development, but he could easily become the second coming of Patrick Vieira and really be feeding balls to Saka, Martinelli and Smith Rowe for many seasons to come. Finally, the best team in this video is a team that I struggle to see how you could have any more fun trying to rebuild. Barcelona has the new outline of a generation of world-class players, Gavi, Pedri, Fati, Araujo and more. As Barcelona are struggling with finances, you can even throw in a storyline to give this save a bit more realism if it's something you're interested in. Maybe Gerard Piqué runs for president, using the connections of Andres Iniesta to get a Japanese billionaire on board. Maybe Pep Guardiola says he'll return to Barcelona only if he's allowed to get the funds to buy Kevin De Bruyne to be his new Busquets. Maybe an American wants to see Serginho Dest starting, so gives Barcelona £500 million to make it happen. Whatever storyline you go for, I think rebuilding a team with so much history, so many former players, and the possible return of Messi can only be a fun save. Whoever you pick from today's video, make sure you let me know how your save goes. If you head over to our Discord, I regularly make videos based on the Discord posts where I rate your saves, so post some screenshots and a story over there if you want to get involved. On screen right now is a video I think you'll love and a playlist that you should definitely check out. So thank you for watching, subscribe, cheers and goodbye.